Hey, welcome back to the High Kicks podcast. How are we doing, Carl?
Doing good. Finger guns as always. How we doing, bruh?
We are doing good. We are back on video for the first time in a minute. I know we've been posting.
We are without Chadius as well.
We are without Chadius because he's just going through some stuff and timing's been very difficult. We're also recording in the middle of the day, which honestly, this doesn't feel right.
No.
Doesn't feel right at all.
I'm still in my basement, so y'all there is zero difference in terms of where I am, but and also in terms of lighting, but beyond that,
It's
it
not
still feels
like
bizarre.
1 a.m, so this just doesn't feel right. But
yeah.
I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick show. We're going to run down a couple things throughout Europe. All the leagues are wrapped up.
Yep.
I feel like next week we're going to do a Euro preview, but we don't need to do that right now.
Nah.
We got some seasons to wrap up, some trophies to talk about, and then mostly just some managers to talk about, and then we're going to get out of here, and hopefully we don't bore you guys for too long.
Hey, we bore ourselves, so it works.
So we're going to jump right in. I know this club season didn't go exactly how we all wanted it with that perfect dream ending, but Bayer Leverkusen had a remarkable domestic double.
Yeah, I was about to say, even though they ended up losing to Atalanta, you can't really blame them, especially this is just an inside joke for Brian, but when our team was Atalanta, yeah, obviously, they performed the same way that our Atalanta team in
They
FIFA
did perform the same way our Atalanta team did. I'm not gonna lie. Ademola Lookman played like that random Brazilian striker that we found in the youth academies,
who ended up becoming a 99 rated in FIFA, and then we had everyone above 96 rated within the side. It was nuts. It was nuts.
And then we did the same thing to Newcastle. But
yep.
So this was Bayer Leverkusen's 120th season as a club. They had won 2 trophies in their entire club's history before this, and now
never won the league.
And I saw a bunch of rhetoric on TikTok and Instagram of people being like, they blew it in the most important game of the season. They lost the most important trophy. Nah. The league is the important trophy.
The one who blew it the most in terms of anything is Bayern getting third. Stuttgart beating them for that second place spot, even though they wouldn't have gotten a trophy for getting second. No, this has been a very disappointing season for Bayern.
I am rather excited to see what Leverkusen are going to do next year. Xavi is staying. I think a lot of their players are going to stay. I think he's trying to build something.
Them my favorites for the Champions League currently, just because they have another year together. We saw what one off season did with that side. Give them another off season with a couple more signings where they can really develop. Just give it to them. I swear that this is going to be a generational team. And then Bayern, Bayern's going to lose the league again next year, but Harry Kane's going to score 76 goals within a calendar year.
So I don't think Bayern is going to lose the league next year, and I am going to get into why I think that when we get to our last topic of the show. But I think right now, I'm just going to let Carl have a little bit of a happy moment. I think we're going to move on to our next topic here, because no. There's implications to this, because not only did Manchester United win the FA Cup, they knocked Chelsea into the Conference League by taking the Europa League spot, and they knocked Newcastle out of Europe. So I want Carl to go into as much detail as you want. I want you to share your thoughts on actually Manchester United winning the FA Cup and both goals being scored by 19-year-olds.
The 19-year-old component is the biggest bright side of anything. Like, yeah, we ended up beating Man City, and we played probably our best game of the season. So I don't want to downplay like the way that we played. I don't want to downplay anything in regards to the performances had by the players. I'm just still disappointed about the overall season and the overall situation currently happening, because with this occurrence, I don't think there's a better manager out there than Ten Hag right now. And it's sad to say, like, yeah, I would like a Poch or something, but like, is that a long-term strategy? I'm not really too sure. This starts to leave a lot up in the air because this is second trophy, right?
Second
Is
trophy.
this his second?
Second trophy.
Yeah, like that's a lot of success for the way that Man U's been playing recently. And like, he directly went on the books saying that this season was sort of a rebuild year and to really sort of develop the team more. And we're leaning towards that direction. My only issue is that we still have these veteran talents, and we're probably going to end up signing another veteran talent. And then it's going to become a redundant situation where we're just spending all of our cap on absolutely no one. And then, like, we still got like Mount on the books and everything. And he's essentially going to become the same situation that we had with Van de Beek. And then it's just like, all right, like it's hard. It's really hard to watch this because I feel like it's going to be a redundant cycle. I hope with Garnacho and with Manu, we can really turn this around, because they're massive talents. And I love the way that they've been playing for the side. They've been so versatile. They've been literally everything for this side throughout this season so far. It's just, we need more from like the Rashfords. Rashford didn't even get called up to the Euros. Like, yes, we won the FA Cup against City. Hype as hell. Don't get me wrong. But I have to look towards the future as a Man U fan. And right now, I'm not the most optimistic, but I like what's being said. I think with new management and having a little bit, they do not have a lot of money to spend this summer. So with that little bit of money that they actually have, which is different for Man U. Man U tends to have fucking baller money for this summer targets. But I don't know. I'm really interested. I've seen one or two links with a few center backs, and I've liked them. But they're just rumors at this point. We won't see anything really come into fruition yet. But with the FA Cup, Ten Hag has
Hold on. Did you just say fruition with an L?
Yeah, I know.
Fruition with an R.
Yeah, words. You know I'm not good at English.
I know you're not. I was just waiting for a time to come in, and that was perfect. I'm going to jump in. I just want to give my kind of 2 cents on the whole United situation. I think it would be an absolutely horrific mistake to fire Ten Hag right now. I'm not saying that because I'm a Liverpool supporter and they've struggled in the league. I'm saying that as a football fan who understands that it takes time to grow and to actually do a project. And he's made some questionable decisions.
Specifically the signings.
Yeah, specifically the signings. That's what I was going to say. Like the Casemiro move that he kind of pushed for wasn't great. Antony has been a horrendous flop, but they like to play for him. You can tell during the celebrations that the team saw the reports that he was going to be sacked, and they played that match for their manager. And they played that match to keep him in the dugout. And I think that I don't believe those reports. I think they were false. They definitely were false because he hasn't been sacked yet. I think Manchester United is going to continue to go with him. I think it's going to be the right decision because I think too often in football, managers are not given enough time. And you need time to build something. If you're firing managers every like 2 or 3 years, you're just going to turn into a Chelsea.
Yeah. And also it just becomes like a vicious cycle at that point, because then it's consistent in terms of the firings. It's not a situation where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna like ride this out for like 3-4 years, see if we can pull through with some youth talent or something. It's like, no, not at all. It just becomes a clusterfuck, and you start a fire sale, and that's when like everything starts to go to shit. Like, you just need to take a little bit of time, and being these established clubs, you can take that time.
I brought up Chelsea. I'm sliding into Chelsea because speaking of firing and hiring and firing and hiring, Chelsea have hired Leicester City manager Enzo Maresca as their new manager. So, by the way,
Poch is fucking better. Why the fuck don't you keep Poch? I'm sorry. Good. Keep
so
on
I
going.
don't actually necessarily think Poch is the better manager. But what I do think is that Poch found his 11. Poch found the
Yep.
tactics that worked for the club. You could
Yep.
see it based on the way that they were playing at the end of the season, and it looked like he was ready to start building upon something. And I think Todd Bowley needs too much instant success. I think that he doesn't really understand how to run a football club. And I think that these constant hirings and firings and hirings and firings are just going to keep setting them back and setting them back and setting them back, because now next season, Maresca is going to have to take time to find his 11. He has so many young players, young, promising players that are going to want playing time. And it's just, they're going to be back to square one. So, like, this season, they were in 12th or 10th or whatever for most of the season, and they made a run at the end. They finished 6th. I mean, if anybody saw my video on TikTok where I made my predictions for what I think the top 4 is going to be next year, I put Chelsea in 2nd based on what I think they were going to look like under Poch. I stitched the damn video the next day and was like, I don't think so anymore, because now they're back to square one. And I just don't understand what's going through Bowley's head. This is all just, it doesn't make sense to me. I saw a video from Melina saying that she didn't think it makes sense. I saw a bunch of Chelsea fans being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was utterly shocked because it just doesn't make sense to fire Poch. And I understand Maresca did phenomenal things with Leicester, but like,
But exactly your point. Like, even though he did phenomenal things with Leicester, they're taking a risk on this by sort of like flipping everything on its head. Like, Nicholas Jackson's development may be stunted because of this. Like, a lot of the players,
bingo.
like Diassi in the back, may be stunted. Like, yes, they need to figure
By
out a
the way, it's
goalkeeper
Disasi.
sorry. But like, there's just so many situations where it's gonna be up in the air now in regards to the way that the club's gonna run. And they're probably gonna run back the same team that they had at the end of the season,
You don't
especially
know that
within
though. You don't know that.
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I'm presuming right here, but they can change up everything on a dime, and that can end up stunning the development of half the players within the side, making the other half unhappy. Like, of course, we're going to see Cole Palmer. We're going to see Caicedo. We're going to see Nkunku. But beyond that, and Enzo, but there's going to be a lot of just up in the air. Like, we don't know who's going to be in that starting 11 going into next season, and that's a big FU to Chelsea at this point, especially for the way that they finished, being one of the best teams after the winter break, which is absurd to say considering the run of form that they were in going into it. But hey,
So let's
like,
put it this way. Here's the biggest problem with Chelsea and the biggest problem with the way that Todd Bowley is currently managing and running the club. So they purchased Mikhailo Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez in January of 2023, right?
yep,
Um, that was when Graham Potter was, I'm pretty sure, still the manager.
yep,
This is their 4th manager.
yep.
Potter, Lampard as a caretaker, Poch, and now Maresca. There's no room for development. Every manager has different ideals, every manager has different tactics, and you're not gonna, like,
We thought Mudryk was gonna be something.
I
but
still
it's
think
just
Mudryk
like,
is going to be something. He's so goddamn young.
he just hasn't had the time under a manager, and it's a massive fu to him.
Like, what is the most important thing? And you and I both have experience being athletes. So, like, I just want to know your answer to this question. What is the most important thing in a young athlete's development?
A good coach.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Not even a good coach. Consistency. I mean, a good coach is important, but consistency in what you're being told, consistency in your direction, not having to
Yeah.
learn a new system every year, not having to
Yeah.
learn new tactics, not having to wonder, like, am I going to be playing as a high pressing left winger, or am I going to be expected to drop back into defense depending on the manager's tactics? Like,
It's like, tactically, it can change slightly year to year, but it was like my example is, like, I played lacrosse. So, like, I was trash, but, like, we changed tactics, like, year to year, in order to, like, compensate slightly, though.
I mean, that's
Like,
because
we
you guys
kept,
weren't
like,
very, very good, right?
no, we were alright,
Because, like, I
my
went to a high
senior
school
year.
where the lacrosse team didn't change their tactics. Our tactics were, we're going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, but you alright, you guys had, like 7 All-Americans within your starting 11? Like,
No, that
fuck outta
wasn't
here.
that my year. We had one, but when my sister was in high school, yeah, we had like 7.
Like, fuck outta here.
But just like back to the Chelsea thing, it just. I'm not doubting that Maresca's a great manager. He comes from the Pep tree. Pep thinks he's going to be a great manager. He said he sees a similar thing that he sees in Arteta in Maresca. But I just think the right move was to stick with Poch, and that's nothing against Enzo.
Yeah. That's what I wanna make the point abundantly clear about. It's not a knock on Enzo, it's just overall management is fucking the development of players, and we saw it with a lot of other teams, and, like, you see Arsenal right now, they sat with Arteta for a couple of years.
I mean, it's the same thing that's been going on at Man U. They've been hiring and firing managers every like 2 seasons
Yep.
since Sir
Louis
Alex
van Gaal.
left. And like, could you imagine? So I know like Liverpool struggled for the first like year or 2 under Klopp because he had to build something. Could you imagine if they had sacked him? Like, you get what I mean? Like, managers
It's
need
like
time.
Klopp had better signings
I mean,
off
that's
rip.
fair. So I don't actually know if Klopp had better signings. Liverpool had better development because I think some of the signings, like, I think, let's say, if Klopp had gotten his hands on Antony, I don't think he would have been a flop.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's fair.
It's not always about the player. It's about where the player goes. I think if Mason Mount had signed for Liverpool instead of United, oh, God.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's my 2 cents on the Klopp thing. But it's more about hiring somebody, understanding their vision, and letting them execute it, and understanding that it might not like
Look perfect at first.
exactly.
Which I think that's actually a perfect segue into the Barca situation.
I
Because,
would
like,
agree.
bro, what the fuck are they doing?
So the Barca situation's a little different, and I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant about this. So just I'll let
Yo, wait. How the hell do you do that as, like, upper management to Xavi, though? Like,
that's
you
what I'm getting
literally
at. That's what
you
I'm
eat
getting
his
at.
ass, and then you're like, "Oh, yeah, nah, you're trash, though. Peace." Like,
So to give everybody a bit of an understanding of what happened here,
yeah,
about
because it's not as simple as what I just said.
about 5 or 6 months ago, Xavi announced that he was leaving Barcelona. He announced that the job was too stressful. He announced that it's taken years off of his life and that he needs to move on. And Barcelona spent the next 5 months basically begging and pleading, and as Carl said, eating his ass, tossing his salad, however you want to go about it, trying to get him to stay. Xavi then announces that he's going to stay. And then at the end of the season, Joan Laporta sacks him and they hire Hansi Flick, which, by the way, is ironic as shit because Hansi Flick is the man responsible for Barcelona's like biggest defeat in the history of their club.
Yep.
And like, I know Carl's a Hansi Flick fan because of his Bayern days, but I just talk about a shitty way to treat your club legend.
That's just the biggest fuck you by like any sort of management. It's literally like, oh yeah, you bring us success and bring us like, because it's during a time of fucking turmoil at Barcelona. Like post Messi has been such a fucking shit show.
And yet Xavi won a fucking La Liga.
That's what I'm saying. Like the dude has done everything he can for the side, and they're literally just like, he says one thing in the media. So what essentially ended up happening was he said upper management is in a clusterfuck and that he should be just like given a little bit of time with the side and he'll actually develop it in a positive direction. And what upper management took that as a massive FU to them, and that they're garbage and shouldn't like exist anymore. So they're like, Xavi, you are now released. Which is fucking ridiculous. Like the dude was on the best team of all time. Like I just can't comprehend it. I'm still sitting here baffled that like the dude said one thing. He said one thing just because they were treating him badly, and he came out publicly about it, and then the club decided, oh yeah, sorry, we're releasing you.
I think it's a shit show, but I want to get back into what the actual topic of conversation is here. How do you think they're going to look under Flick?
I don't think they're going to be bad.
I don't think they're going to be bad either, but I don't think they're going to be great.
I don't think they're going to be great. They don't have the side for Hansi Flick.
I would agree with that. I know we have this whole like Farmers League, whatever kind of conversation. So one, I think Girona's going to get rated this summer. So yep. I'm not necessarily sure that they're going to be able to hang around, which is going to be unfortunate. Two, they're going to at least finish in third because that's just the way the Spanish league works.
Yep.
Like bad Barcelona is still top 3 in that league.
Without a doubt.
Real Madrid are going to be unstoppable because I saw a report that Kylian Mbappe's next club is going to be announced in the coming days, and that's obviously going to be Real Madrid. If it's not Real Madrid, I'm going to go absolutely fucking crazy.
I'm just going to laugh so much.
I would laugh so hard.
I won't know what else to do. Like, bro, that shit would be nuts.
But I think Hansi Flick is an interesting kind of story because he took over at Bayern. He had a phenomenal side. He won everything there is to be won. And then he took the German national team job and kind of shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like, he absolutely shit the bed. And yep. I'm not necessarily sure. I mean, everybody says he's a proven manager. He won the sextuple. But that was with an ultra-attacking, high-pressing Bayern side that fit his style of play exactly.
Yep, perfectly.
And I don't think Barcelona has that. And I'm worried.
So Lewandowski was on the side when Flick took over. So I do think like that connection is going to be there.
But this was, hold on. This was 32-year-old Lewandowski, not 35-year-old Lewandowski.
Yeah. Like I want
to. Or 36-year-old or however old he is now.
Yeah, there is a massive difference.
He's a phenomenal player still, but he's not the same player he used to be.
No, because he was arguably like, I don't know if it was the year that he was the best player in the world.
It was 2020.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which, by the way, I've heard reports that France Football is considering going back and awarding him that Ballon d'Or, which please, for the love of God, do. But
please.
I mean, if we're going to talk, I'm just going to get into the whole, like, very quick thing. Everybody says Messi robbed this Ballon d'Or, Ronaldo robbed this Ballon d'Or. The only fucking Ballon d'Or robbery that's actually happened is Lewandowski's because people fucking vote for the award, so nobody can rob it. But that's a robbery right there. I'm not going to say, like, we just talked about hiring and firing managers being the wrong right decision. I don't think firing Xavi was the wrong decision because I actually think it was within his best interest to leave the club.
I think it was his best interest, but I
But
just think they went
they did
about it in the
him
worst way possible.
so dirty.
Worst way possible. Like, literally,
Like, you beg the man to stay and then you fire him?
fuck no.
Like, I
On a
don't know, man.
serious note, the world is going to be saved
The world
after
is
next
going to be
season.
saved next season
All
because
the Avengers have come together and they smacked that bald-headed motherfucker Pep, and they decided, even though you do have the Infinity Gauntlet, you only get it for one more year.
according to reports from numerous outlets, I'm not going to cite them all, just go on Instagram and search his name.
Yeah,
Pep
just look it up.
Guardiola is apparently set to leave Manchester City at the end of next season. I have not necessarily seen this from Fabrizio, but I love Fabrizio. I think he is the end all be all. When he says it, it's going to happen. But
Yep.
he's never really the first one to the news. He's the confirmation that we look for.
Randomly, he'll end up coming with like a transfer in the Italian league that you never thought would have happened.
But
But
most of the time, you see a report about a big transfer, and then or a big thing or a big news, and then you wait for him to confirm it. Like, I saw that Klopp was leaving earlier in the season, and I did not believe the posts I saw until I saw Fabrizio post it. So I'm not exactly sure. One, I don't know if he's posted about it yet. I could go check right now, or Carl can go check. But either way, if Pep leaves, one, I wonder who's going to take over.
I don't know.
My mind went to Zizou.
Same. It's just
Like,
because I imagine a bald motherfucker being the manager.
exactly, honestly. But look, they're going to be so goddamn good next year, and they're going to win the title again. I could see them winning the treble again. No post from Fab yet.
No.
So this isn't 100
just Ancelotti
saying he's going to retire at Madrid.
Yeah, that's
But
like, and then like what we're talking about last, but
yeah, we have no like official news from Fab on the Pep thing, but it came upon reports. It's been talked about, so we're talking about it. I want to ask you, what do you think is next for him?
does he need a next?
Yes, he does.
Where
Actually, it's not a need. I think it's a want from him.
I think it's a want, because genuinely I don't think he needs to go anywhere to be undoubtedly top 5 managers all the time.
Where do you think he's going next?
Nowhere within the Prem. I think he's going to Italy.
I don't think he's going to a club.
Where?
I think he's taking over for England or Spain. %. So
he takes over for Spain
or England.
I don't think he's taking over for England.
So he has said how much he loves Phil Foden and how much he would like to continue coaching him and all the things he's said about him. I could see those are the teams that I think are most suited for his play style, and I think it's one or the other.
It was the player of the season in the Premier League this season. I don't want to hear that.
It should have been Ollie Watkins, like 100%.
Yeah.
But or Cole. But it should have been Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
I think Pep is going to be an international manager. I think he's aware of where he stands on the best manager of all time kind of debate. And if he gets a Euro or a World Cup, or God forbid both, he's the greatest manager to ever live.
Is he taking the French job?
No. That would be so unfair.
It's literally like, all right, let's just take like the best talent in the world right now and just give it to Pep. This is literally just Man City 3.0.
Utterly, it
Him
would be.
with Mbappe, fucking, I don't want to think about that. I'm
I
gonna
don't either.
move on. Fucking,
Well,
we're
you
done with that.
damn well know though he'd get to like the World Cup final and overthink it and put Mbappe at center back.
Bayern has hired Vincent Kompany.
Yeah,
Speaking of center backs.
Yeah, so I am gonna
actually, yeah, center backs who have scored screamers. That's actually a good show. Good show.
It was a good transition. So I'm gonna take over this conversation for a little bit. Carl, I'll let you know when I'm done. But I have been hearing and seeing and whatever about a lot of things of Vincent Kompany going to Bayern. Bayern's management is crazy. They're making a terrible hire. He just got relegated with Burnley. How could he get the Bayern Munich job? And at the risk of sounding like a pompous American asshole who you doesn't think knows ball, I'm going to say to all you people out there who are doubting this signing, I don't think you know ball, because the last time we saw Vincent Kompany with a side that outclassed talent-wise everybody else in the league, he absolutely dominated the championship with Burnley, playing fast-paced, high possession, high pressing, very attacking football. And he has a Bayern Munich side now at his disposal that is capable of all of that and then some. I would not be surprised if they run away with the Bundesliga next year. I would not be surprised if they are in the Champions League semifinal or final next year. And if I'm wrong, clip this and make fun of me. But I firmly believe that this is an incredible signing for Bayern Munich, and it's going to take them out of the little down periods that they've had for the last year. 100%. I think his tactics are amazing. I think he plays the style of football that they need. He comes from the Pep kind of mindset. And how well did Pep work out at Bayern? I'm not saying that he is going to be a Pep, but he's got
and also
the mindset.
He's Bayern got doesn't have the same side.
No, they don't. But he is going to play or have them playing exceptional football. And I think we could see Harry Kane break the goals record. I'm going out on a limb to say that. I see a unbelievably high octane, high scoring season for Bayern Munich next season, because that's the way he plays football. And it did not work with Burnley in the Premier League because their side was not up to par.
Yeah.
You're good. Jump in.
Say anything else.
You don't got anything else to say on that?
Nah, because here's the thing. Tuchel had Kane at the fucking 6. So I know damn well Vincent Kompany is smart, and he will never be at the fucking 6 in any way, shape, or fucking form. The furthest Harry Kane will be back is at the 10.
I think that's fair.
He will just deploy the fucking players in the right tactics. I feel like it's just Tuchel literally just. How the fuck has he won Champions Leagues? Tuchel frustrates the hell out of me.
I don't think he's a great manager.
No, not at all. Bro, I honestly think it was a fluke.
I just think it was a mid-season managerial hire that gave Chelsea an injection. But I don't. Look, I'm not saying I could do better, because I damn well know that I can't.
Exactly. I want to make that abundantly clear.
I don't want anybody to be like, well, I would like to see you try. I know I can't do better, but I don't think Tuchel has the same pedigree as other Champions League winning managers.
That's the thing. So many people try to put him in this conversation with like Poch and other fucking high quality managers, and I'm just like,
give me fucking Terzic over Tuchel.
That's what I mean.
But back to Kompany. I was talking to Kyle from 90 about it, and I think it's going to work out exceptionally well.
Bro, you got fucking Kimmich and Goretzka, and like even if they don't hold on to Davies, like they're gonna find a perfect replacement.
Oh, Davies. I think we're good on Kompany, but before we get out of here, I'm gonna talk about the Davies thing real quick.
Fabrizio did the thing for Mbappe. So,
oh, he did.
Yeah,
Mbappe to Madrid.
Yeah, and PSG has nothing to say anymore. They're unveiling it before the Euros.
Wait, really? When did he post it? Just now? Is this a live reaction?
Like literally when we were checking for the other shit, it was 15 hours ago, but still.
Oh, but this is final plan to complete deal and unveil, but I still haven't seen the 3 words.
It's still going to be unveiled before the Euros though.
Yeah, but it's a done deal. But if Bayern Munich do not sell Alphonso Davies before his contract runs out next year, it's a horrendous piece of business. He has said he wants to go to Real Madrid, let the dude go and take the money and reinvest.
Take all that money.
Well, it's not going to be as much as you think.
Well, his value dropped. And he sort of has an injury history, and Real sort of knows a thing or two of being like, hey, we'll give you like 10 mil less euros because he hurts his ankle a lot.
And his contract's about to expire.
Oh, no, that array is another 10 mil off.
Yeah.
And he lost 10 mil in value fucking this season. And then Bayern's going to be like, give us like 90.
Yeah, speaking of market value real quick, they just did an update, and I saw that Harry Kane's value went down by 10 mil. And people were like, he just had an amazing season. How did his value go down? It should have gone up. Like, I'm sorry. He's past 30. So as you get older, your value goes down.
And also, bro, they didn't win the fucking league.
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
Bro, tactically, the way that the team was deployed, like we previously stated, they weren't winning shit. So it
correct, they
matter.
weren't winning shit, but let's say he were 27 and he had the season that he had, his market value would have gone up. You get what I mean? True. It only went down because of age.
Yeah, I just still can't wait for him to be an NFL kicker.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's going to wrap this up. But before we get out of here, I am going to do our first ever official ad read in the High Kicks podcast. Carl's face just jumped and was like, what the hell? We have an ad read. So if anybody knows or has been aware that I've been working, doing some work with 90 brand inside the 90 apparel. And I have 2 or 3 of their shirts. I think their designs are funny as hell and the shirts are really comfortable. The podcast is great. I'm not just saying that because I edit and help produce it, but if you go take a look at 90apparel.shop, take a look at their water bottles, their hats, their everything. If there's anything you want to buy, I'm just going to say use my code Brian10 and take a look at 90 because everything they have on there is awesome. And I think it's a great company and a great product. And go check out the Inside the 90 podcast.
You heard it here first.
I mean, we've talked about them before, but thanks for tuning in. And we'll be back next week with a bit of a Euro preview. I am hoping that we have a chattiest back soon. Carl, you got any parting words?
I hope Chad words.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.